Hey guys, welcome back to Loft Sports. It's Tyler coming at you with the Virginia preview, Notre Dame's fourth game of the season and potentially the biggest game on the remaining schedule for our season. I'll explain why in just a second. Coming off the tough, hard-fought, impressive loss to Georgia. The definition of a quality loss is exactly what we just experienced in Athens last week. The problem is, now we face a 4-0 Virginia team with a really good coach, Bronco Mendenhall, who's been there for a few years. He's established their culture. They're coming into this game with a chip on their shoulder. They're ranked in the top 20. It's going to be a big game, one of the bigger games of the day, especially now that it's a ranked versus ranked matchup. They have everything to prove, and to some degree, not a whole lot to lose. Everybody is expecting us to handle business, even though we're coming off of a fist fight with a really good Georgia team. Everything is on the table for us to lose. There's still an outside chance at a playoff, despite the loss, because we kept it close, as I mentioned in our Georgia reaction video. We still have an outside chance. The door has not slammed shut on that. If we lose to Virginia, it absolutely will be gone. In the preseason, I was high on Virginia. If you watched our ACC preview video back in the summer, I actually had UVA winning the Coastal and winning 10 games. Now, I did think this would be one of the games they lose, but after 4 games, they look just as impressive as I thought they would. Their defense is really good. Their quarterback play is awesome. This Perkins kid is finding ways to win games. So this is going to be the definition of a trap game. We're coming off of our biggest game of the year. This is Virginia's biggest game of the year. I know it's not a conference game for them, but they're riding high. They've already got a big win at Pitt, which we just saw beat UCF, so that's a pretty decent win. And they beat Florida State, which for Virginia in football is a big accomplishment, even though Florida State's having a somewhat down year. They're feeling good about themselves. They're a pesky team. This is going to be a scratch, claw. We've got to just find a way to win. So let's take a look at my keys for the game this week, as we always do. Number 1, we've got to circle the wagons. This is a rebound game for Notre Dame. Like I said, we just got done in a brawl with Georgia. Didn't come out the result we wanted, but we kept it close enough to where we still have a lot we can accomplish with this season. A loss, all that goes out the window. This team is really solid. It's one of the better teams we have on the remainder of our schedule, especially after what happened to Michigan in Madison on Saturday. So we have got to circle the wagons. It's a rebound game. We've got to avoid a letdown. We know Virginia's going to come ready to play. Number 2, we have to run the damn ball. 46 rush yards last week against Georgia, albeit they're very stout. They're an elite defense, one of the best fronts in the country. It's just not enough. We struggled to run the ball against Louisville. We struggled to run the ball against New Mexico. We've got to be able to run the football. Ian Book is not a good enough passer to just air raid it out and throw every single play. I love our receivers. I love who we got. Cole Kmet's back. He had a huge first half against Georgia, but we have to be balanced. If we're one-dimensional, they can blitz. They can do a lot of different things to force us into some bad situations. We have got to find a running game. If we can get that going, we can throw their defense, which is very good, off balance. It opens up the playbook. Book can scramble with his legs. It just gives us so many more avenues to be successful. And finally, we've got to make them throw the football. We did a pretty good job with Georgia. Fromm was very efficient, but a lot of their passes were dinks and donks, screens behind the line of scrimmage, bubble and tunnel screens to receivers. Fromm only threw for like 187 yards despite a very high percentage of completion. Perkins is not Jake Fromm. He's not really a passer. He's a dual threat guy. He can throw a little bit, but he's not a passing quarterback. He's a runner first. He's a playmaker, and he can get the ball where he needs to get it, but if we force him into obvious passing situations, it's going to, like the opposite of ours, what we're hoping, shrink their playbook. If we force them into second and third and long, we can disguise coverage, we can blitz, we can get him rattled. They're going to be on the road, so this is a big opportunity for our defense to have a very nice follow-up performance and lock it down. If we make them one-dimensional, then I feel like we're going to have our way with things, and that's a big step in getting a W this week. So this is obviously a huge game for both teams. Virginia is trying to make a name for themselves. They're trying to get a huge win on the road against a premier program. And their university is kind of on fire right now. They just won the national championship in basketball this spring. Their baseball team made it to Omaha in the College World Series. They're trying to go for the Triple Crown here and now get it a big win on the football field. Virginia's really kind of in a good place right now with their athletic programs. And for Notre Dame, it's a rebound game. It's everything to keep our season goals intact. Still looking at a potential New Year's Six Bowl, outside chance at the playoff. Can the Fighting Irish win this game? Absolutely. We're the better team. Do I think we will win this game? I do. I think this team is good enough. I think Coach Kelly knows what he has to do. I think our fans are going to show out. There's a lot of reason to be excited. We just earned a ton of respect from the SEC and Georgia fans, which have been awesome commenting on these videos and other Notre Dame channels and everything, showing their respect, paying their dividends, saying it was going to be tougher than they thought. We cannot afford to come out now and throw it all the way by losing to Virginia. Yes, Virginia's a good team. Are they capable of beating us? Yeah, sure, anybody can beat anybody on any given Saturday. That's why this is probably the best sport of all sports. But we are going to win this game. I have confidence in Book. I think we'll find a running game this week. I think that's going to be more of a primary accomplishment and a goal from Kelly and the coaching staff. I think we went down to Georgia almost expecting to not be able to run the ball. And we said, okay, if we have to throw it every down, we're going to throw it. I don't think that's going to be the case. We won't give up on the run game so easily. I think our defense is going to feast on the fact that their passing game is not as good as Georgia's. They don't have the five-star talent all over the field like Georgia had. So I think we can roll the dice, bring more pressure, trust our corners in some one-on-one situations, and allow that pressure to get home. I think Notre Dame will win, but this is going to be a tough game. This is not going to be one we're going to be able to turn off at halftime and breathe easy. We're going to sweat this one out. This is a really well-coached football team. I have a lot of respect for Bronco Mendenhall. I've seen him take BYU teams into Lincoln and other places and win big football games with a lesser talented team. We should not underestimate them one bit, but at the end of the day, I think we are a good enough football team to get this win, survive, and advance. Go Irish. This is Loft Sports signing off.